Emma Raducanu's really sad comment speaks volumes after U.S. Open rankings change. Emma Raducanu has continued to rise back up the WTA rankings after her run to the third round at the U.S. Open, where she was beaten by top 10 player Elena Rybakina. Emma Raducanu's promising U.S. Open campaign will have lifted the British star after a really sad confession at her beloved tournament. Raducanu progressed to the third round at Flushing Meadows, the venue where she famously claimed victory as a teenage qualifier in 2021 before enduring several challenging years while wrestling with injury and adjusting to stardom. This year, she overcame Ines Shibahara and Janice Tien before falling to world number 10 Elena Rybakina in the third round in straight sets. Raducanu's showing in New York allowed her to maintain her gradual climb back up the world rankings, which have been refreshed following the final Grand Slam of the season. Raducanu now sits 34th on the WTA Tour list, moving up 2 spots. It's a stark contrast from 3 years ago when her title defense at the U.S. Open ended in the first round following a straight sets loss to Alizé Cornet. Despite her status at the time, the defeat came as little surprise given her difficulties throughout 2022. The loss also saw her tumble down the rankings from a career-best 11th to 83rd. Speaking following that encounter, Raducanu revealed she viewed it as a chance to revitalize her career after a turbulent 12 months. Obviously, really disappointing, really sad to leave here. It's probably my favorite tournament, she said. But also, in a way, happy because it's a clean slate. I'm going to drop down the rankings. I need to climb my way back up. In a way, the target will be off my back slightly. I just have another chance to claw my way back up there. While Raducanu hasn't managed to replicate her 2021 heroics, her prospects are moving in the right direction. Not progressing beyond the third round of a Grand Slam this season might be viewed as disappointing, but there's no disgrace in defeats to Iga Swiatek, Aryna Sabalenka, and Rybakina, 3 of the finest players in the women's game. Speaking after her recent U.S. Open exit, she said, "I think it's going to be important to just look at the last few months as a whole and the improvements that I'm making, because a match like that can easily get you down if you let it. So I'm going to try and not do that and regroup and just work hard and get ready for Asia. I've lost to Iga twice, Aryna, and Elena, so it's tough. But at the same time, that's where I'm at with my ranking. I can play top opponents in the first, second, or third round. So I've just got to do my best in the next few months until Australia to just keep working to try and close the gap." Raducanu will now be hoping to climb towards the top 20 before January's Australian Open, which would, in theory, provide her with a far stronger chance of a lengthy tournament run. Sabalenka, who secured her second consecutive title in New York with a dominant victory over Amanda Anisimova, remains at the summit of the rankings with a substantial lead over Swiatek in second position. Coco Gauff holds on to third place despite her quarterfinal elimination, while Anisimova has risen 5 spots to 4th. The beacon of Flushing Meadows dimmed for a moment. Emma Raducanu, champion-turned-challenger, had spoken simply yet seismically. Obviously, really disappointing, really sad to leave here. Yet behind that hush of sorrow lay something entirely different, a beginning. At 18, she was a comet, qualifier to champion in 2021, hearts melting across New York. Fast forward to 2025. And the roar of the crowd greeted her again, but differently. A victory or two, and then heartbreak, a third-round exit to world number 10 Elena Rybakina. Still, even in defeat, something shifted. Her ranking rose to 34. 2 places might seem trivial, but for Raducanu, it was the breath of fresh air she needed. Falling, but rising, the paradox of progress. Sadness isn't weakness. On the contrary, it is the echo of hope coexisting with reality. Her words echo with both grief and purpose. My favorite tournament, but in a way, happy because it's a clean slate. She sensed the gravity of her fall in 2022 when, in defending her title, she tumbled out in the first round and plummeted from number 11 to number 83. Yet now, she can breathe. The target is lifted. The climb begins anew. That ascent, 2 places on a rankings ladder, is a metaphor for resilience. In those few rungs, we sense the scaffolding of something stronger being built. Every training session, every decision becomes deliberate artistry. Portrait of a moment, slowing down to see the arc. Picture the stadium, electric, grand, but bittersweet. Post-match, as she stood at the podium, her words were measured. You can almost hear the crack in her voice, the split between expectation and reality. Her tearless admission, really sad, conveys more than loss. It hints at self-knowledge. Her face, steeled by disappointment yet warmed by resolve. The knowledge that this tournament, once the summit, may now be rebirth. It's the hushed hum before a climb. The silhouette of the comeback. What followed isn't flashy. There are no sensational comebacks in headlines, no grand gestures. Instead, the shift comes in quiet moments, planning, strategizing, working with coach Francisco Roig, taking measured steps forward that there's a future where she cracks the top 20 before the Australian Open, where seeds make draws less brutal, where the point-to-prove mentality from opponents can be matched and maybe surpassed. A creative closing, the Phoenix on clay and hardcourt. In the smoldering late summer of New York, Raducanu let sadness bloom, not as defeat, but as compost. From that soil, seedlings of belief sprouted. Her ranking jumped, only 2 places, yes, but that's the grace of beginnings, small shifts, steady ripples. Imagine her dotted on a court at dawn, racket in hand, eyes focused beyond sad. Behind her stands a ladder, 83, 60, 40, 34, and beyond. Each rung represents a lesson, a training hour, a disciplined choice. The clean slate isn't an eraser, it's a canvas, and she is the artist. Raducanu's really sad moment speaks volumes, not of closure, but of quiet reinvention. That's the art of sport, falling beautifully, then rising with quiet purpose. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.